So, okay, let's take a look at question 3. Let's begin. Okay, let's move this question 3 to whiteboard and we shall start reading and doing it. So the speed v meter per second of a particle traveling from A to B, so it's going from A to B, yeah? At time t seconds, that's t seconds, not ts, it's not a variable, please don't get confused. T seconds after leaving A, after leaving A is the time is clocked, is given by v equals to 10t minus 10t square. Oh, 10t minus 10t square. So the particle starts from rest. What does this mean? Particle starts from rest means, so leaving A, just finding the distance from this thing, speed from rest at A means, that means at time 0, at rest means time 0 when you start clocking, the velocity or speed, depends on the context, is 0. V is 0. Okay, we got it. I say it's not a correct word, velocity, because it can be -1. You can see the 10t square dominate the term, but anyway, it's another thing, not a very good wording of that. Okay, what comes to rest at B, but we understand by colloquial speech. So comes to rest at B means, here also the V is 0. Okay, I'm just going to write that. Also here, the V is 0. It can. 2V 0 can. Okay, because a quadratic equation. We're looking at it so we can see that. Okay, now we're going to go into the details. Please take note. So show that the particle has a speed of 5 meters per second or greater for exactly this. Is a great question. Okay, so they want an inequality. 10t minus t squared. Sorry, thanks for the slight correction, Matthew. All right. Good one. Okay, so the chat. Good. Okay, so 10t minus t squared. Eventually, the term will still dominate. Well done. Okay, now let's begin on this. How do we figure this out? So what we are looking for is this clue is here. The clue is somehow subtly hidden in these two statements. So let's say we want to see where v is 0. Okay, let's try to find out first when v equal to 0. So if v equal to 0, just to get an idea of the particle itself, then 0 equals to 10t minus t squared. What does it mean? So we factorize this. So 10 minus t like that is 0. And therefore, this easily we can solve as t is 0 or t equals to 10. That means at time 0 and 10 seconds, the particle kind of like momentarily stops in time. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? V0 means stop what? Starting from rest, that means this is at B. Bingo. So we got it. So they described this, but even if they did not, this is what occurred at B. It comes to rest at B, so it's ending there. That means beyond this is not there, so it's a speed, because you're not taking beyond to make it negative, I think. Okay, it's a good definition then. Okay, now let's get back to this, the second part. So we want to show the particle as a speed of 5 meters per second greater for exactly this means what we need to do is we need to do to find the maximum within the range. Okay, so that means we can also do an inequality. Okay, let me do an inequality. So V is bigger than 5 meters per second or greater, so bigger equal to. So let's use the formula. So 10t t square is bigger equal to 5. So it's becoming quadratic inequality. Okay, the reason why I found the B, because they somehow mentioned comes to rest of B, that was to tell us the range. Okay, so later I'll tell why. Okay, you'll see later the part comes into hand here. So let's bring it the other side and all that normal, this moving, minus 20 plus 5, that's equal to 0. Okay, let's factorize this. If you can't factorize this, as you can see, the answer is some kind of surd there. Surd means having this weird looking square roots and all that. It's not a big deal. So what you do is just calculate a root first. So let's please calculate a root. So the root using the quadratic formula, or t, you just use the word root whenever we have 0 function, make it 0. So negative b, so negative of negative 10. I'm going to do working like that, also can. As long as you calculate correctly, this part of the would penalize. B square minus 4ac, and 5 like that. So from here to here, this becomes 2a. Okay, let's try to calculate this, please. So this becomes 10 plus minus square root of, let's check, 100 minus 20. My eyes tell me 100 minus 20 is 80, right? Okay, let's just keep it as 80. Don't worry about the simplification at this point. So 2, okay, let's see if we have to reduce it because the last answer is a bit of a simplified surd. So let's do that a bit, please. So how do we take a factor of 80, that is like a perfect square, 16 times 5, right? Oh, that means just how they do that. That means this becomes 10 plus minus square root of 16 is 4 root 5 whole thing over 2. Slowly that number can kind of take shape actually. So t equals to 10 over 2 is 5 plus minus 4 root 5. Then you just put in the calculator, check the 4 minus root 5 part, it becomes negative. So we reject the root. Okay. So actually, if you want to see what it means on a number line, I show you what it means mathematically without this interpretation of speed. It's kind of interesting to look at it like that. So I'll just put it like that. This is a number line, okay, with the two factors they call it. So the roots is kind of like t minus the root 1, first root, and then this factoring like that. We're looking at it like this. You must understand what we're doing. We're looking at the algebraic expression in this way when we draw this number line. So the 5 minus 4 root 5 sort of very deceptive. They look like as though like positive or something like that, but actually the left one you must put in calculator to check. The left one is less than 0. That means negative. Okay, by putting in calculator we can see that. Sometimes it's important to know that. I mean, there's no such time. This is positive because t is positive here. And then now I'm going to first do it without these considerations. That means we pull a what we say like less equal to 0, right? So you put this one can color because less equal to, imagine can equal first. And then this thing, so you color the thing, pull to the left when it's less equal to 0. Let's learn it operationally. So from here to here, so this becomes negative because less equal to 0. So that means that those expressions become negative at those ranges. That's what it means. So plus plus, so when you multiply, because the two expressions are being multiplied after they're factored into the roots, regardless if it's a third, and therefore you multiply vertically down, negative, negative, positive, and blah, blah, blah. So we want the negative. Overall, you want negative here, less equal to 0. Non-negative or 0. Just put negative first. No worries. Okay, and then please take note, this cannot happen because if this is for time got an additional condition. T is from 0 to 10. This is where this part comes into play. That means now I know 0 is somewhere here. So just simply plant another wood like that. This is 0. And then put here until 10. 10 is bigger than the other side. So you can see. So we're talking about this range. In this range now, this is upper part is negative. That means I have to modify 5 plus minus 2 root 5. Sorry, thank you for that. I think I made a slight calculation error there. This is negative, positive. Must be getting very weak. Sorry. Okay, it's 2 root 5. Correct. The 2 is correct. Aha. Wait, let me think and see. 2016, 4 root 5. 4 over 2 is 2. Yep, that's correct actually. So this becomes 2, So 530, 80, yep. No worries, let's do a little bit of correction there. So this is 4, this is 2. That part is okay. Thank you. And then if you do 5 minus 2 root 5, okay, let's change that. So let me just check and see 2 root 5. Oh, it's still positive within the range. That's why we don't have this problem. Okay, that means I made a mistake on this. We need to change this. Sorry. It's okay. That's how we learn. Okay, let's change this. So we get a second look at things. That's why it's a bit weird to do the kind of infinity. But if the maths or numbers lead to that, then we do it that way. So that means we bring it up here. Thank you. So 5, both are positive now, if you notice the roots. So 5 minus 2 root 5, put in the calculator, you can see it's positive. 5 plus 2 root 5. Okay, not an issue at all. Good. Actually, pointed out is very important. So to the left, thank you. This one pull to the left. This 2 becomes negative. Okay, across that same thing. Plus, plus. So the overall, you multiply downward. This is negative. This is positive. So if we get it like this, then we must choose which one. That's the question now. Oh, that means t is within the 0 to 10 range. Actually, it doesn't really affect the question at all. 0 is here. 10 is somewhere out here, right? Is it out of the range? I think so, because 5 plus 2 root 5 is about, so much this calculator. It's about 9 point something, correct. So it tells that these values are acceptable within the range. That's all it does, this part. Okay, so now we want to choose the value where it's overall negative or 0. So the overall negative or 0 part, now we're going to that section, is only the middle part. So I put a tick. That means the t is something like here. So from here, we choose this. We write the range. So t is between 5 minus 2 root 5. Maybe can equal, yep. And then less equals to 5 plus 2 root 5. So within that range. So within that range, it is where it is the velocity overall be greater than 5. Don't get confused by the greater than 5. Then the greater than 5 interprets to this part being negative. That's what is done from here to here, that part. So that means in this range. So they ask for how long. So for how long means so the difference of the time. So the bounds. So difference is the how long from 5. Like as though like 3 to 5 seconds, what do? 5 minus 3, 2 seconds. So for how long? Only thing we're doing it in sets. That's all. So the last part here. So 5 plus 2 root 5 minus 5 minus 2 root 5. So when you open the bracket, you realize that this is 2 root 5 minus 5 plus 2 root 5. So the 2 root 5 adds up, and the 5 minus 5 cancels off. So you get 4 root 5 as claimed. Done. Thank you.